Now, obviously, you represent the 4th District in Arizona, but let's just look nationally. If someone from New York or Pennsylvania or Virginia is watching this interview, why should they care about something happening in Arizona? Because they could very easily say, well, that's Arizona. I don't live there. It doesn't affect me.
Okay, well, if you want to live naively and think that it won't affect you eventually, this entire movement, life begins at conception, the anti-IVF movement, which is real in the United States of America, the desire of these right-wing groups to try to get a national abortion ban passed, a right-wing Supreme Court. I guess even the former President Trump tried to disavow this decision. Well, this decision is a result of the Dobbs decision, which is exactly what he promised he would do as president, is put right-wing judges on the Supreme Court to overturn Roe. There's a direct line between that Supreme Court decision and what happened in Arizona. And if you don't think they're going to come after mifepristone or contraception, you're fooling yourself. If you don't think they're going to try to, at the national level, based upon the strong push by these right-wing groups, go after things that people in the blue states rely on, that families rely on. Who would have thought that even IVF services would somehow become illegal in a state in this country? So no one should get comfortable no matter what state you live in. We need to speak loudly in this upcoming election. Obviously, I support President Biden, who has been a strong supporter, strong, consistent supporter of abortion rights in this country. That's what I think the voters are going to support in light of this horrific decision, is not Johnny-come-latelys who are trying to take a safe political position at the last minute. Those who they know have been strong and consistent supporters of abortion rights here in the United States of America. That's who's going to do well in this upcoming election.
You've been outspoken against this decision, even speaking on the House floor the other night, and you came out and you said, I am angry about this. Why was it important for you to make that statement on the House floor, and has anything come of it? Any reactions, any phone calls you've gotten in response to your statement on the House floor?
Well, I said I was angry on the House floor because that's the nicest thing I could have said. I heard from a lot of people in Arizona. They are PO'd. They cannot believe this is happening in our state, and they are angry that political leaders have allowed this to even get to this point. And I think that the initiative that we talked about earlier, it was going to pass already, but now it's going to be supercharged, if you will. You're going to see a surge of support for the initiative and for elected officials that have been strong and consistent supporters of abortion rights. An intensity that we haven't seen before. And intensity matters in elections because that affects voter turnout, the voter turnout numbers, which there were a lot of stories about those of us who feel the way I feel about abortion rights and the right to an abortion, and the fact that it was ripped away by the Supreme Court, that there was going to be concern about passion in this election. Well, not anymore. The people who support restoration of constitutional rights, they are fired up and they are angry. And I was trying to express that anger on behalf of the people of Arizona on the floor of the United States House of Representatives.
So a lot coming up, a ballot initiative, obviously a November election. Anything else? What's next for this issue and for you?
Well, a lot of things. Number one, the initiative in Arizona is very important, and it should pass, and we should put these protections into the Arizona Constitution. But make no mistake, there is no substitute for doing this at the federal level, because civil and constitutional rights should not be a state-by-state thing where you have certain constitutional rights in one state, but they can be taken away in another. That's not how it works. We're Americans. If you have a constitutional right, you have that right in every single state. So we need to pass the Women's Health Protection Act at the federal level. And if any senator thinks that protecting the filibuster is more important than protecting constitutional rights, just look at the anger in Arizona right now. I might suggest that your priority should be protecting constitutional rights and not a Senate rule, an archaic rule from many years ago. And you should allow for the political process to take its course and have the House, the Senate, and President Biden sign the Women's Health Protection Act so that we can restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land in Arizona, where I think most people thought that that was the right balancing on this most important issue and protecting this constitutional right.